the podcast that Peter Schrager does with him for The Ringer. That was a fascinating conversation with Kyle Shanahan, especially since it sounded like Shanahan was all pissed off that McVay beat him to the punch on Stafford. You know, that he was grinding tape to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo when McVay surprised him saying, guess what? We've already grinded tape on a replacement for Goff, and it's Stafford. See you later. I love that that was a nice, raw, rare, behind the curtain exchange. Right, it
was
there.
Really good, and you need a guy like McVay and for Shanahan to talk so candidly about that. And I was surprised at how open Shanahan was. I mean, he was in Cabo. He said it ruined his vacation. He thought he was going to have more time to get Stafford. He was out with his wife having dinner, and then he got the call. So I thought it was a really interesting look behind the curtain about just how badly they wanted Stafford. And I think that everybody who knows football understands how good Matthew Stafford is. I spent some time with Stafford 2 years ago for a story, and he's one of these guys who I remember Dan Orlovsky, who played with him, telling me about Stafford. He said that he's one of the few people who really says, I don't care what people think, and really means it. Like everybody says, oh, I don't care what people think. Stafford just wants to be a good teammate. He plays through injury all the time. He plays through bad offensive lines, all of these things. Stafford is in the NFL community is so widely respected. And so I think that the biggest endorsement of a Matt Stafford in 2021 is the fact that two of the smartest coaches in the NFL, Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, were desperate to get him to the point that Shanahan is still salty he didn't get him.
Well, and it made me also think that all Trey Lance has to do is fog up a mirror and make it seem like he's not going to go, totally, in the wrong direction, and that the job's his, right? I mean, because they were ready to just move on from Garoppolo right then and there if they could have pulled off the trade for Stafford. Certainly, they gave up all those draft choices for Lance. They would have given him up for Stafford. One would think, right?
100%. The best phrasing I saw about the Shanahan-Lance thing is that it's not a scheme fit, it's a scheme expansion. And what I guess what's going to happen here is that Kyle Shanahan's going to be able to run his base offense and do so many more things than he's ever been able to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. Even though Garoppolo's a nice athlete and all that stuff,
right?
Lance is going to be able to do 3 times more. They're going to be able to expand the playbook, and I think that a coach like Kyle Shanahan is going to really enjoy what he's going to be able to do. I mean, these guys at heart, whether it's Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Sean Payton, Bill Belichick, they're football dorks, and they want to be able to do as many different things as possible. And Trey Lance gives you dimensions that Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't. So I agree with you. I think it's going to be Lance early in the season. I would guess it's not week 1, but it's going to be pretty quickly, because if you're Kyle Shanahan, aren't you spending June and July just coming up with plays for Trey Lance? I mean, you're definitely not coming up with plays for Jimmy Garoppolo. You've been there, done that. You tried to move on from him already. So I think there's going to be a plan in place to get Trey Lance in there early.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.